7 years ago, I was sitting at my mother's bed together with my mother, and we were eating oranges. And it were those really, oh, there are the mandarins. And it were those really sweet oranges. And they were really juicy, and together we were watching the birds outside. I think that moment was one of my biggest achievements in life. Because for me, it are not the big moments like graduating with distinction, which count, but the small ones, which happen every day, which make you smile. So in the evening, I can go to bed with a smile and get up early in the morning, because every day, also on a bad day, those good things happen. And because that idea has given me so much joy. Usually when I'm in the train, I'm not giving a TED talk. I'm doing this. And could you take my microphone, please? I take my bag and my box. And in my box are a bunch of ansicht of postcards and a real bunch of felt tip markers. And I just walk up to someone and I say, hello.
Hello.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
I'm Janne and I'm traveling the world to collect 1,000 beautiful moments per continent. Do you also want to draw a beautiful moment?
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah. Cool. So, here's
Thank you.
some markers.
Whoa.
And could you draw a beautiful moment from last week?
From last week.
Yeah.
All right.
And for you as well.
Thank you. I have the mark.
For the other ones, I will just pass on the pens and the cards. Go ahead. Draw your beautiful moment. And I do this in trains all over Europe. And in a few months, I will go to Asia. And what you see then is that people cheer up. And what do they draw then? Well, it varies from the sunset at a lake or a hug from a loved one. But you also see that there was this little boy of 3 years old, and he gave me his drawing. And I said, wow, what a beautiful monster have you drawn? And he replied, a little bit disappointed, it's my grandfather. So I also make mistakes in the train. When I was in the night train from Sweden to Norway, there was Gretchen. And Gretchen made this really beautiful drawing about her walking in the nature. And after some while she came up to me and she said, sorry Janne, but I have to disturb you. I was just in the other end of the carriage and everybody is drawing there. And they are so into it and so serious about it. You would think they wouldn't draw, but they do. I don't think this is possible in the United States. I think it's possible in the United States and we will see it next year. In the travels along Europe, I noticed a lot of differences already between what people are drawing. For instance, in Finland and Sweden, people are more open about sex. So you see more moments about sex being drawn and the drawings are more explicit. In the Netherlands, for instance, you see a lot of compliments being drawn. People receive a compliment and make a drawing out of it. It makes them happy. In other parts of Europe, no one has drawn a compliment. And in Berlin, a lot of moments about friendship are being drawn. This asks the question, what is a beautiful moment? And I think a beautiful moment is a moment which deserves to be remembered by, which deserves to be treasured, and you can get a positive feeling out of it. But what is it? For example, when my mother died, is that a beautiful moment? Well, objectively speaking, no. But when it happened, she was in her bed, I was sitting next to her, my brother was also next to her, and the music was playing. So it was a beautiful moment. Because every day I'm looking at those beautiful moments, what is happening, and I write them down every day or make a drawing out of it, I become more happy. So I made the decision to look for the good things, and that makes all the difference about how you perceive the world. So act as if the world is already where it is, because then you can make it better. I decided that people are good and trustworthy. So that's why I encounter now all those hundreds of people who are helping me along the road and making it possible to follow my dream. And yes, following a dream isn't always easy, but it doesn't have to be. It may be hard, you can do it anyway. So I was in Copenhagen and I was collecting there at a park, and Ashal had just made this drawing and he told me about it. But then he said, Janne, wait a minute, there's something which has come up. Because it appeared that Kelvin was also in the park. And Kelvin was a guy who said he wouldn't live tomorrow. He would want to commit suicide later that day. And Ashal asked me if I could go and talk to Kelvin because of my Beautiful Moments project. And I hesitated a bit, because I hadn't talked to a suicidal person before and I didn't know how to do it. But I can talk to someone. And more importantly, I can listen. So together with Ashal, we walked up to Kelvin. And Kelvin was pacing around in the park. He was pretty nervous. And we sat down and we talked about life, what made it good and what didn't. And Kelvin said about his childhood, that they were eating porridge every day, every morning at 7 o'clock. And there was this commercial on it. And there was a song about which they had to laugh so hard every day. So I asked Kelvin, can you sing me that song? And there he was in the park in Copenhagen, and Kelvin was singing that song with Eyes of Joy. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Janne.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Thank you.